Hi, welcome back to my channel. This book review is for The Stolen Twins by Shari J. Ryan. Now, I want to do something that I do occasionally, and I want to talk about the author's note and the acknowledgments at the end of the book. The first thing I want to mention is that Shari J. Ryan is the granddaughter of two Holocaust survivors, okay? And having that history gives her true license to write a story such as this. The second thing I want to mention from the acknowledgments, because sometimes people don't read them, we find out that this book was based on a true story. And I think it's right in the front. Where do I see that? Yes, The Stolen Twins, based on a true story and utterly heartbreaking World War II page turner. Okay? Now, we have two girls, Irina and Nora. They were twins, identical twins. The only difference is Nora had a bad stuttering problem. Other than that, they were completely identical. I think Irina was 15 minutes older. One of them was 15 minutes older than the other. Okay? Now, the sad, heartbreaking, shocking, devastating thing about this book is the medical experiments that were done by a doctor during Auschwitz in 1944. The girls at that time were 15 years of age. And as identical twin sisters, Irina and Nora were pulled into gruesome experiments, okay? Not only that, they were separated from their parents and then ultimately separated from each other. The story goes back and forth from when they were 15 years of age to when they were 17, back to the age of 15, again to the age of 17. Okay? Now, because the Nazis were looking for twins to conduct this experiment, which I do intend on researching, tragedy happened. Aside from being separated from their parents, aside from being separated from each other, tragedy ensued. Okay? Now, despite how heartbreaking and I think I could come up with 20,000 synonyms. Heartbreaking, devastating, shocking, sad, but then I could say powerful, amazing, even hopeful, okay? Because with the back and forth, we learn about all the shocking and sad and devastating things, but in the present, we start to see where Nora and Irina are when they're 17, nearly 18. I think they were 3 months shy of their 18th birthdays, okay? Now, the doctor was Joseph Mengele, okay? And he was brutal, okay? And even though it was mostly written from, well, it was not mostly. It was like I think every other chapter. Let me just check. Yes, every other chapter was written in each of their viewpoints. Chapter 1, for example, was Irina. Chapter 2 was Nora. Chapter 3, Irina. Then Nora, back and forth like that. So just want to mention that. Now, when you read this, there's no way, I don't think any normal person could read this book and not be affected by the travesty that happened to these girls and to others in this book. Anybody that reads historical fiction or knows about the Holocaust or has read non-fictional books and articles about the Holocaust know of the brutalities that happened during that time. In fact, most people did not survive. Millions of people were killed, okay? Well, since this book took place 2 years later, we know that Nora and Irina survived. But does it mean that they survived scot-free? Or what did they experience when they were the age of 15 in Auschwitz? And where did they end up 2 years later when the story shifts back and forth? Because a lot of dual timeline stories may take place decades apart. This dual timeline story took place only 2 years apart. And this whole time, whether you're reading from when they were 15 or when you're reading from when they were 17, you're still reading it from both of their perspectives. Now, somehow or another, as sad and as heartbreaking as this book was, there was hope. This book offered hope. And I don't know how much literary license the author, Shari J. Ryan, took, but what she did do is she delivered something intensely powerful, something that made this book, well, let's say gave this book a different aspect of the Holocaust than I was aware of. And that's what amazes me about the historical fiction that I read, even the historical fiction that's based on true stories, is every time I think that I've heard it all about the Holocaust and about invasions and all of that, there's yet another aspect that I never heard of. And that's why Shari J. Ryan gets my accolades with this book, because she wrote a compelling, powerful read that connected you to both Nora and Irina. There's one that I think most people will feel for more than the other. But even if you feel more for one over the other, you still feel the pain and the intensity behind both stories of both girls for what they both experienced. And that is The Stolen Twins by Shari J. Ryan. I can't say anything more other than to say this book is cream of the crop, excellent, excellent writing, an excellent story, and written by someone who knows her stuff when it comes to this terrible time in history. So I want to thank you for watching. Oh, did I tell you? I think I now have to tell you every time I do a video. Yes, you can get it on Kindle Unlimited. Sorry. But anyway, that's going to end this video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.